Everyone's got opinions when it comes to leadership, and let's be honest, how many experts do we all know? But where can we find real leadership advice that's not BS? Well, look no further. Welcome to No BS Leadership, where on each episode we attempt to expose the gap between what leaders think they should be doing and what actually works without the BS. Join Myra, Geoff with a G, Dr. Sam, Jeffrey, and me, Geoff with a J, as we work to debunk those leadership myths. Listen in as we irritate some, inform others, and challenge all leaders to discover a better path to the leadership excellence we all want.
And welcome back to No More Leadership BS. I am Jeff Conroy, followed with my amazing friends, Geoff McLocklan, Myra Hall, Jeff Geyer, and Dr. Sam Jennings. And today we're going to listen from one of our illustrious cast here, if you will. And we're going to talk with Geoff McLocklan, the madman from Otis Orchard. With that,
I'm surprised you remembered Otis Orchards. Like, that's pretty good. Most people can't find it on a map, myself included.
I remember everything. So, before we get this out of control, take it away, Miss McLachlan.
Oh man. Well, thank you so much. Thank you, Jeff. First of all, you know, it's a crazy day today for me. We're getting ready to go to a jiu-jitsu tournament with my kids. And it also is my wife and my 17th wedding anniversary today.
Happy anniversary. Yay. I know. I've with them for 17 years. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of mental issue there. I mean, seriously, anybody that can put up with me that long. Oh, my goodness.
Hey, brother, you know, 17 years is no record, but in today's day and age, good for you. Keep going, brother.
Oh, yeah.
We're trying. His life, yeah.
3, I thought it was 30.
Oh, sorry.
Is that how that works?
Yep.
Oh, man. I know. We digress, though. So, yeah, today our topic, though, is one of the ones that is probably one of my passions in life, and that is play. I absolutely love play, all forms of it. You know, I sometimes, I've been called the professor of play, but really it's about what does play do for other people? How does play connect us as human beings? And what place does play have in the workplace? And so the myth that we're going to talk about today is that play is just for kids. Play is for kids. It does not have any room, any space in the workplace. And so to address that myth, I was going to pose the question to you guys. Y'all know, you've heard, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, correct? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Of course. We've all heard that. So why do you think that people assume or think that play is just for kids? Why don't we incorporate more play in the workplace? And what does that play do for people in the workplace? So the question would be really, is there a place for play in the workplace for adults? What do you guys think?
Yes. For sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
for sure.
No, I've worked for people. I've worked for people who think that if you're playing too much, it's a distraction and you're not doing your job. And I think there is that level, but you can have fun at work. I've done putt contests, and I've done, how many objects are in a jar, and I've played games, word searches and fun stuff like that, just to keep it light, because work can be heavy.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of stuff I've done. Now I know you go bonkers. You go to next level.
Oh yeah. Well,
that's what I was going to say, Jeff, is defining play, right? Because that is, what is it?
That's a great definition. There are so many different definitions of play. If you're introducing free play versus intentional play versus play for a purpose, I truly believe that play is things that bring us joy and happiness, and connect us as human beings. And so any kind of play, if it's verbal play, that banter, that playful banter between coworkers, if it's, mental play, meaning you're trying to do something that is out of the ordinary for the purpose of trying to, succeed or win at a challenge. There is athletic play. There's imaginative play. There's all sorts of different kinds of play. But play for the sake of play is basically meaning there's no point or purpose to it. Play is free play is just for the point of joy and happiness. There seems to be no real reason for it. That's the kind of play that most children get into when they don't have adults walking around them and supervising and being helicopter parents. But for adults, it's different. Adults tend to have different kinds of play. We as adults, especially in the workplace, we as a group, anytime we get together, we have that verbal play. We have that banter. We have nicknames. We give each other a hard time out of love and caring. And that is kind of that in itself is a form of play. So it's interesting that there are multiple groups that I've worked with specifically on play. How do we incorporate more play into the workplace? And it has to be intentional though. That's one of my things is intentionality behind the play is the important part. You can't just play for the sake of play. I have a good example. And I worked with an individual from an organization, and it was an organization that had moved from a very small budget of like $200,000. And the project that he was currently working on within a decade was in the $250 million range. So they had some massive explosive growth, and they were trying to incorporate play into their very, very busy, work day. And the new person in HR just put up a ping pong table in the break room and said, we're going to have a ping pong tournament, and didn't give the reason why or what was the it's just like, hey, we're having a ping pong tournament. Everybody come right now. And, people were like, well, wait a minute. I've got a $250 million project I'm working on right now, trying to meet deadlines. I don't have time to go and play ping pong. Like, it wasn't intentional. There wasn't the thought behind it of, we're going to do this on this date for this purpose with these people. You can play here, 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 here. And this is the point of it. She just said, here's a ping pong table. We're doing a tournament. Everybody go right now. And it wasn't well thought out. Versus you've got like companies like Patagonia, who has a workplace policy of, hey, if you're feeling like down or you're not quite working to the top level of your ability, take an hour, go surfing, go with somebody, go with a friend, grab somebody and go surfing, get out of your brain, do something active, and then come back and get right on. And so they have a very flexible workplace where they allow play and people to do those things on their own or with a team or a group with intentionality of go clear your head and then come back and be productive. And so the intentionality part behind it is really, really important versus play for the sake of play is great, but probably outside of the workplace to regenerate, rejuvenate with ourselves. Does that make sense?
Yes. Heck yeah. It gets people to engage in a different way. We did this thing when we had people in training. We do a staff invasion. And so I'd go right into their meeting and with permission of the person facilitating, of course, go run in and just hoot and holler and throw candy around and leave. No conversation. I'm a big candy fairy. And like, what was that? Like, well, that was just Sam throwing candy. So that was it. And then they get back to work. But just a little break to, kind of reduce some of the stress and sort of bring a little bit of levity, but then still stay on task reasonably. It worked out pretty well to get people just sort of fired up again.
Yeah. Break the monotony with real quick, a 20 to 30 second burst, right?
Exactly.
And then you throw candy and they're like, oh, what? Something different. So there's a physical aspect of it, trying to catch something that's flying at your face. Right. I like nice hard candies.
And I wound up and warmed up really well. So you get good heat on those peppermints chucking them across the office.
Jolly Rancher at 300 miles an hour.
It's not so jolly. It's not jolly.
It's the candy cannon. Welcome. Oh, man. Right. Well, it's interesting because that's the thing is that the break, so that monotony of a meeting can be broken by a quick little 20 to 30 second burst. Then they get a little bit of what the heck just went on, snaps them out of what they're thinking and allows them to refocus in just a very short amount of time. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't have to be, hey, we're going to go to this ropes course for a full day and we're going to talk about deep things. It can be something simple like going into a meeting real fast, throwing a bunch of candy and like, woohoo, good job, keep it up. And then you're gone. It's the intentionality behind it, right? So it's fascinating though. But I mean, one of the things that, you know, a lot of us, you can look up the statistics about workplace engagement online. And I mean, we're coming up on like close to 3/4 of the American workforce is disengaged at work, which is really not great. Not great at all. I mean, if you've got disengaged workers, I mean, that's a bad statistic. So they're not going to be they're not going to be as productive, you know, but if they're engaged in the workplace, if they enjoy the people they work with and they can have just a little bit of fun, it can go so far in terms of productivity and having people be more active in the workplace itself. Mm-hmm. And so that's the purpose of play. It's real simple. Do a little bit of play, make the world a little bit better, engage your employees, and have some fun. It's not that hard. Yeah.
You know, Geoff, and it's, I agree with you totally. Too much work makes the whole world dull. But where we might part just a little bit is how do you define enjoy for the masses? And I bring that up because a high I is going to want to play, want to have fun, or it's not worth it to them. A high C, on the other hand, somebody that's into details and all that, the very fact of working on it is fun for them, enjoying that. If they get their time to really dig into it, then they're happy as clams. So, I mean, I can see a situation where if you had a well-rounded team with all the different personalities, that some goofing off would be great for a portion of it. And the other portion would see it as not fun at all. They don't enjoy it. It's not what they want to do. So I'm sure in your career that you've run into this, just curious how you would hold that.
So that would be the intentionality piece behind it and knowing your team. So having the assessment piece of, hey, these are my high I's. They're going to just want to have fun and play. These are my S's. They're going to want to make sure everybody gets along and that everybody gets a chance to play. Your D's are just going to be like, I don't care about the rules. I just want to win. And then your C's are going to be like, well, wait a minute. Let's really think about this and be cerebral about it, and follow the rules. So if you can actually find activities that engage all of those aspects. So it doesn't have to be a physical activity, although that can be fun sometimes. Sometimes it can be really cerebral. I did an activity where with a group that were mostly C's and S's, that I gave them all the same tools. I broke them up into 2 teams and they had to build a tower out of marshmallows and spaghetti. And I gave them 35 minutes and I said, great, here you go, guys. Whoever builds the tallest freestanding tower wins. And most of them were engineers. So they immediately saw the engineering problem. They were immediately engaged. But then all of a sudden the frustration piece of, dude, spaghetti is not a good thing to build out of, but laughing. Oh my gosh. It was fun. And the interesting thing is this is an experiment, that you can do. I can't remember I think the Culture Code was the book I got it out of. And they found that if you do this experiment with CEOs, lawyers, doctors, engineers, people in business school, college kids, they have different ways of engaging and talking to each other. And so it's a brilliant piece of, it's a fun activity to see how far they can get, what they can do with the activity, but then how do they engage with each other? And that allows you to, if you're facilitating or if you're a leader, to really listen to how your team engages with each other. How do they talk to each other? How do they accomplish a task? Which then has a direct application to how are they going to talk to each other in the workplace? How are they going to work together in the workplace? Because it's got to be, for the experiments, it's fast and furious, right? You've got so much time to accomplish a task, get it done. But if you're looking at, well, great, how's that like business? Great, we've got a certain amount of time, we've got a task, let's get it done. But people go about that in different ways. And communication between those different styles, it can be an engagement piece in itself. So a high I talking to a high C, is going to obviously slow down and say, hey, wait, what are the details that I need to know so I can present this to other people so that it can be successful? And the high C is going to be like, well, you need to know this. And you're going to really not want to sell this. You're going to want to do this. So those team aspects of how they communicate effectively together can be enhanced by how they play. And so play for that purpose of engaging each other in an activity together to increase communication in the workplace. So it's not just willy-nilly play. And like you said, different kinds of play are for different people. I love people. I'm a high I, but at the same time, there's times I just want to throw up the birds and just walk away from civilization and be out in the woods all by myself. And I need that time to rejuvenate, which is really interesting because I'm almost 100% I. And so maybe that's just the traffic. I don't know.
Yeah. When I get quiet, my wife worries, and I said I just used up my words for the day because my high I is like a 98.
Yeah.
I mean,
yep, we're both there.
Obnoxiously high, heavy on the obnoxious.
But that's the thing, though, Andre, right? If we use all our words, sometimes we got to rejuvenate. Play can need different things. Yeah, different things to different people. I also love to read, so I will, sometimes play for me is sitting in the backyard, having a glass of wine and reading a book for fun, not personal development. Something that's going to make me laugh and giggle.
Yeah, Captain Underpants, right? Captain Underpants.
Captain, oh my gosh.
I love Captain Underpants. Sorry.
Who doesn't love Captain Underpants?
That was a big read in That was a big read in Eastern Oregon.
I was like, wasn't that like the fifth grade?
Geoff, I got another question for you. In bigger group settings where, the culture of the company or the group is this whole aspect of play like we've been talking about. How do you keep, and there's obviously in big groups, there's all different kinds of behavioral styles and different personalities and things like that. How do you keep the play from getting out of hand? How do you keep it, where the high D's aren't steamrolling people and, I was just thinking of like a flag football game, and instead of, grabbing flags, the high D's are tackling people, and some people, don't think that would be appropriate. So,
I apologized for that. I apologize.
Yeah, I know. And my broken arm healed up. So, you know what I mean? How do you keep it where that everybody is having fun, where it doesn't cross that line?
That's a really great question. And it depends on the group. So the largest group that I ever, did, a facilitated play with was just over 400 people. And we actually played tag. 400 people played tag in an enclosed environment in a gym. And it was, there were some people that were, we had some bigger athletic people. And, it was like, wow, I played tag in Canada, which apparently if you go to Canada and play tag, it's hockey without the skates. I'm not kidding. I had student leaders and they were taking out their fake teeth. And I'm like, what's going on right now? And I was like, it was girls too. Holy crap, man. It was insane.
Taking out their teeth?
Literally taking out teeth, like popping. I was like, I didn't realize that was fake. Oh my gosh. Like missing front teeth and stuff. And these are, they were high schoolers, but the largest group, that 400 person group in an enclosed area, trying to emphasize, hey, number one is be safe. Number two, have fun. And it was one-on-one tag with 400 plus people. So you versus another person. And Myra's shaking her head like, no, not gonna be fun. Right?
That'd be awesome.
Right. I know, right? High I's are like, yay. D's are like, I'm going to win. C's are like, how do I say the rules? It's really, oh, Myra's on mute.
I'm saying S's are, how do I get out of here?
Yeah. And C's are going, how do we pay for this?
Yeah.
That's the bill got cost.
Yeah, right.
But facilitating something that's that large, it takes a while to get to that point where you can actually do that, where people feel like they can trust each other. And so it's little sessions of play first, that are simple and easy. And you have to work your way into something like that. You just can't start off and say, we're going to play tag. It doesn't work. You have to have that know, like, trust ability. and you have to get people engaged in the process. And so that's a part of a training. It can't be the only thing. So that's that intentionality behind it. Start small with the simple little things. Talking to somebody else and laughter is a form of play. If you can ask them a silly question, one of my favorite questions to ask leaders and people is, great, what's one of your favorite Disney movies? Because everybody says, oh, well, I've seen Disney movies. Great, cool. What's one of your favorite ones? Great. Now, if you could be any Disney princess for a day, which one would you be? And watching these people go, well, and they start thinking about it because some of the Disney princesses have powers, right? Moana can control water and Elsa has the ice power, right? All these different things. Princess, the Sleeping Beauty has the power to nap anywhere. That's a great power.
Myra, those are Disney movies.
Those are just in case you didn't know.
Well, yeah. I don't. Honestly, I don't watch movies.
Moana's in Hawaii. Elsa and Anna in Norway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other ones are in a forest somewhere. Yeah. Magical forest. Praying dragons on the script forest. Whistling while they work. And then there's animals helping clean. That's a cool power.
I love that power.
Right? But
I do know all about Snow White. Just so you know, I do know about Snow White.
There you go. See, Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Yeah. So it's interesting, but the Seven Dwarfs, they do all the cleaning, right? They do all the makeup.
We've devolved.
We've devolved. Oh my gosh. See, we're at a squirrel, shiny squirrel.
Yeah. But high eyes.
Is this play? Are we playing?
Yes.
Yes. So that anything that can create a little bit of joy and laughter with your team and create the energy of we're in this together is a form of play. It can be super fast and easy. It doesn't have to take a long time. Once you get to know your team, you can increase the challenge level. You can increase the activity level depending on how your team reacts to different kinds of play. So in conclusion, as we're coming up our time frame here, intentional play can completely change the engagement level of your employees, your team, and can increase profits through having a more engaged workplace that has more fun because they're going to want to actually work more. It provides focus and all sorts of other benefits as well, including health benefits, so which we didn't really get into. So, if you out there are listening and you want more information, you have questions, you have comments on how you've played or what you've done in your workplace and if it was effective or not, you can always reach out to us at askus@leadershipbs.co. That's askus@leadershipbs.co, and would be more than happy to answer any questions or even give you ideas. I wrote in a little ebook about activities that you can do in the workplace. If you want to go ahead, you can call us. I don't know what the number is. I don't think we have an 800 number yet. We're not
give Myra's number. Give Myra.
If we give you Myra's number, I'm going to give you the challenge of who's got the best Chewbacca growl in the country, and go. It's a contest.
Call Myra and find out.
There you go.
So for all of us here at the No More Leadership BS crew, thank you so much for listening, and we will see you all again. Well, we won't see you. We'll talk to you again next week.
Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the No Leadership BS podcast. If you have any stories, questions, or comments you would like to share with us, please email us at askus@leadershipbs.co. That's askus@leadershipbs.co. If we use your email, questions, or comments, you will win a DISC behavioral assessment and debrief with one of our highly trained podcast teammates. And last but not least, don't forget to give us a 5-star review so we can reach more people. Thank you so much, and tune in next time. We'll see you then.